size limit reach.
Also called white space. And that's really crucial in design. You'll find that designers are often encouraged to use every single pixel, like you can do with our website, trying to make use of every single bit of screen real estate for something or other. But actually, making good use of white space or negative space, which is basically areas with no real content, is pretty important because it literally gives the user less to think about. Okay, so it is reducing overload on the user, and you can suggest your groupings without using APIs. So here's some examples of white space working. Lots of white space here. There's no kind of, all the grouping is done by proximity, and the white space just works. It's not overloaded with information. It's very, very clear what the hierarchy is. That is sort of good visual design. And a good use of white space. I'll show you this because this is a website I'm not, which I think makes good use of white space. And also good use of gesture principles. Because we have our sort of similarities and our groupings, and we also have sort of, although it's not most most thing, you've got the size difference between the text and stuff means that this looks like the most important thing on the visual hierarchy. You'll know that I put up 2012 version because I don't like what they've done to my website for 2014. It's not. Here's another one where we've got some web space going on. It's pretty clear.
Still uses a fat system for the files, which means it can't have anything bigger than 4 gig.
It's a really strange concept.
That's big. Could you?
That's where he works.
I don't know.
I hope this isn't a real thing. Because that would make me sad. But I have
Your mum's so fat she can't store anything bigger than 4 gig.
Anyway, if this was from there, then it's not a real example. But never mind, the website still keeps working. Right, let's look at some stuff that doesn't work. You can tell me what this is a website for.
It's from my phone.
EE. Yeah. But did you know that just because you knew the colours? Imagine that you are an alien coming to this planet and you see this website. Would you know what it was for? Yes. Huh?
You think it was that mobile thing on multiple different phones?
Yeah, I think you think it's for a phone thing. It's only when you look up here you actually see that it's EE. The white space thing is not working well here because you've got, and I don't really know what that is. I think it's a link to the shop, which is also the shop, which is also the shop, which is also the shop. Actually, all these things are in the shop. Maybe, this might just be a banner actually that's flipping through. I don't know. Anyway, I think we can all agree that this doesn't really work on kind of a visual design hierarchy. It's hard. This looks like it's the most important, but is it the most important thing when I look at a web page to not know what it's for? That's not. It doesn't tell me who the company is. You would have thought that was the most important thing you wanted to know. Similarly, this. Now, you are an alien coming to this country. What company is this website for? You're an alien coming to this country, therefore you do not know the brand name. It's for iPhone. Okay, no, it's for Vodafone. Really, those are the places that it says Vodafone. That's not obvious. That is poor. Oh no, it says Vodafone down here. Would you know what Vodafone was? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to play a game. This is a brilliant game in my world because I like it. Here we go. Right. So this is a game that makes use of all of these things. And the idea is that you have to get this guy to collect the key and then get to the door. And you do that by moving the slides, and then I can set it, and then I'm going to make him go and get the key. And then he can go through the next pane. And he can go. But then I have to move the pane is that if you are schooling trees and how this kind of stuff and how these linking things work and how our brain perceives things, then that is a really good game to play. It's quite hard actually. You'll see I failed on level 1. Okay, so that was a game. We're moving on now. Affordance. Okay, so this is the same door. It's a push version and a pull version. Well, the handles have an affordance, which means is for pulling. Okay, I see a handle like that, I want to pull it. I don't want to push it. And if you're in the lecture the other day, I talked about how it's really bad design to be giving me instructions for things like doors. Doors should not need instructions. I should look at them and know that the action that I put on the door will, I'll know what the result of that action is. That's what affordance is. It's about knowing A, how to use something, and B, what the result of what you're going to do is. So for instance, I see a chair, I know that I should just sit on that, and then that would be how I use a chair. The result would be that I was sitting down. Okay, that is design that has good affordance. So like basically something has good affordance if people can work out what will happen when they act, just from what they can see, just from what they're perceiving. So if we
It's a good
so
game.
here's a button. I'm telling you I'm a button. Does it look like a button? Not really. Here's a bit of a better button, but it's still not necessarily clear that it's a button. It could just be the fact that it's telling me it's a button with the word button is what makes me know it's a button. This one is really not clear on the slide, but because it's got this kind of shadowing, it's going to look more like it's lifted, and that gives it an affordance that it looks like something that can be pressed. Now, in this example, there's no kind of associations with what pressing that button will do, so it's actually not very good affordance. But if there was like a form, and then it says submit or something, that would be much better, because that I would know that pressing on that button, which it looks like I can press, it has the affordance of being able to would submit. So that's how we use affordance in design. There's a book which I'll talk about a bit later called The Design of Everyday Things. It's a very seminal book, it's very easy to read. It's by someone called Don Norman, and it is all about how it's not about technology, it's just about designing artifacts and things, the things that we use every day, and try to make them easier to use so you don't have to think about it. Because as I said to you before, life is complicated enough without things like doors being hard to use. So I'm a bit obsessed with doors, but I to the extent that if I find a badly designed door, I will take a photograph of it, and then I will tweet it and everyone will think I'm cool. Right. So finally, we have this concept of the fold. I don't know if you've heard this. The fold is about what information you are sharing on your interface as soon as you get there. So if we look at this picture, you can imagine that this is a website being shown on the screen. Well, if you scroll down, you get this information. But that is what we call below the fold. The reason we call it that is it comes back to newspapers. And that, when you used to have really big newspapers, like the broadsheets and stuff, and you had the stuff on the front page that was above the fold, that was what you would see when a newspaper was put down, and then you flip it over and you get the stuff still on the front page, but it's below the fold, so you have to go and search for it. Is that metaphor at all relevant to any of you? Has anyone looked at a newspaper ever? Those are really big ones. So there's going to be a day when I start explaining this stuff to kids, and they won't know because newspapers were a thing. But yeah, so you have to think about where your information is going to be seen on the screen, because obviously if somebody has to scroll down to find something, then you would hope it was less important in the hierarchy than the visual design, because people are having to go and look for it. So the fold is a really important concept, not just on laptops, also on sort of apps and on your mobile devices. What is the bit that they can see, and
I haven't got a laptop
Have
or
they
a
used
phone.
gesture principles?
No electronic devices on me at all.
Is there a point
God, that is
they make
crud.
use before the
I don't update it because I don't get rid of the jailbreak. I don't care about getting on the internet.
Can we leave?
Don't judge
Probably
me.
just walk out. Even got a back to it. It's all recorded, so you can watch it too much.
No, we got 5 minutes.
I could put the shades
I've already
over.
missed the bus.
I bought
Yeah.
this.
I want to take the bus
Gen
at
2.
Jesus, it probably won't even run over.
Although if you're hanging,
I
walk
want to
probably
turn
be
it
good.
on. And the little Apple sign
you're
comes
hanging,
up.
the walk
It
will probably be
rotates
good.
until it does go.
Oh, that's sick.
It's so good. Huh?
Oh, are you catching the bus back?
No, I brought my bike, so I might stay here and try and do work.
I'm gonna go get a croissant again.
Yes,
I still haven't done the integrity thing.
Huh?
Huh? Like Friday?
Huh?
Friday, I think. We got to.
Not this Friday.
Yeah.
Week
I was
8.
4.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, we got quite a while. Have you done it yet?
I've done 3 chords of it. I haven't done the last one yet. It's pretty easy.
Version 4.2.1.
Yeah.
Have we done the peer assessment forms? Have we read this in?
I cannot.
Sorry.
I know where the forms are.
Oh,
Alex
oh,
told us.
where are they?
Just go on the Hacs website.
It's adorable. Good little kid. Don't worry about it. I could put them wherever I want on the screen though. Can you do that?
Yeah.
First one.
Alright. When I turn the page, do a barrel.
Why is it not editable?
This is very 2009 of you.
I cannot print it stuff.
You're just.
Oh, I'll tell you what I can do.
Yeah.
I can go. Is that an image?
Huh?
Is that an image?
That's exactly the kind of
To have a look at, let's start with, anyone look at the university website? Anyone look at the university website? Yeah, what do you think? What visual hierarchy, what's the most prominent thing on this page? Speak up a bit. The news articles at the top. Okay. Yeah, data seems to be the most prominent thing on the page, I would agree. Do you think that's useful? I think the thing I think about the visual hierarchy on this is that the course finder is just lost because it's between I kind of it just doesn't it's not prominent and you would have thought that's an
Import
important
it
thing
into Google
for the
Docs so that it convert the PDF into a Word document.
especially because this is not the student page. This is, although we all look at this, I'm sure quite a lot. This is really the advertising page to try and get people to come here, because as students, we probably click on the students link more often than go to this home page, right? So the fact that the course finder is just kind of lost in between here is probably a bit of an issue for this page. One way they can fix that is that I think one of the issues is the fact that this is purple and this is purple, whereas if we were to take this green and put it there, I think it would just automatically pop out more, because this kind of pops out to me. I don't know if it pops out to you, but it's more prominent. It's also to do with size and positioning of that doesn't really work. Any other thoughts about this? How they use an English built principles? I think they use similarity. Yeah.
when you do my rating, you know, like how we all work together so well.
Yeah. We all work great as a team. You know, 10s for everything. Everyone.
Sometimes it's not necessary. They've kind of done it here. Can you see? There's a little bit of shadowing going on underneath. It's just because this is on the black background. You can't see it, so you lose that effect. But actually, these do kind of mix with it. It's a bit prettier. We have time. So just to recap, what was this?